Hello everyone, welcome to the next session on SAP UI5. In the last episode of SAP UI5, we saw how to consume the OData service for GET operations, multiple variety of GET operations. For example, getting the service document, the metadata document, also trying getting the different variety of outputs from the GET requests. And then we also saw how to use OData services to format the output along with different variety of calls. In today's class, we will get into SAP system and start creating our first OData service project. In order to create OData service project, we need an access to an SAP system. Just to reiterate here at this point, because I'm receiving some emails from many of you about ES4 and ES5. ES4 and ES5 are non-productive systems. They are like quality systems. You are not allowed to use any transaction codes for development in these systems. So please don't try and use creating anything in these systems. They are not at all for productive usage. They are quality systems only for the purpose of display. So don't use these systems for the purpose of communication, for purpose of creating OData. However, they are free systems, but don't use them. They are not the systems for development. That's why I offered all of you options and varieties to option of server access, which you can choose from, because these are all the these are all the systems, dev systems, which you get an access to be able to work the OData service projects. So that's one disclaimer I wanted to give at the beginning of the class. With that, let's move on. And now what we also just try and do that is we'll go to backend system and try and create our first OData project. So a couple of interesting transactions to discuss in order to proceed with creation of OData projects. So the very first transaction is SEGW. SEGW transaction is used and known as SAP Service Builder transaction. The second transaction is slash IWFND slash main service. This is the transaction which is used for service maintenance. Service maintenance is an activity where you register the service after creating it for the first time. So this transaction is used for service maintenance. The next one comes is IWFND slash error log. So whenever you see some error happening in the background, in the backend system, you can go and check the error log inside of service. This is used to check the service errors inside system. Next comes is IWFND slash, I don't remember. I think these are all the couple of important transactions, or probably once we get into more, we would see some more transactions. So these are our main three transactions which we often use to work with OData services inside of a system. So let us go ahead and now try creating our first OData service, and we are going to use central hub scenario, which means our SAP gateway system, and SAP backend are installed in one single box. Okay, now before we proceed, would like to quickly tell you two important things to note here. Those who have opted for my S4 HANA server access, for those this is very important to be able to work with local SAP GUI. Okay, so S4 HANA 1610, those who have opted for an access, let me quickly show you the steps to be able to consume it from local SAP GUI. So just install SAP GUI in your local computer. Where would you download SAP GUI? If you don't have it, you can download it completely from internet for free. Okay, so you just go to Google and find out some websites where you can download SAP GUI from. However, if you cannot find it, just drop me an email. I'll get you an access link to download SAP GUI directly. Then once you download and install SAP GUI, just add the server to your local computer. You can come here and I go to properties, and you can see this is the server IP address and stuff. The other details of the server, I will just cut and paste this information um, into the PPT so you all can use this information. So maybe just This is the detail of the server. You all can add it to your SAP GUI server. So don't try and use my username password at all, because it would then kill my passwords. So however, those who don't did not even opted for access, they can also add this server in their SAP GUI. And when you try and access this with my username password, it will see you won't be able to use it. So be careful, don't just add it for fun. Those who really opted for access, those only should add it. I hope you are all mature enough to understand what am I trying to say here. Okay, now once the server is added, you can then quickly go ahead and try accessing the server from your local computer. Now another interesting point which you need to do, the two important activities which you must do is you need to copy host file provided by Anubhav on blog to your, I'll just open the directory where you have to copy it, drivers and etc. So this is the place where you should go and copy the host file which I will provide to you in our training blog. In our training blog, you will find something called a hosts file. Hosts file, this is the file which I'm talking about. This file I'm uploading quickly into our training blog. You all can download this file and replace your current host file inside your computer. Once you do that, you would get a direct access from your local computer to the SAP server host. With the help of that, you will be able to call the OData services also from your local computer, guys. And all the training videos which I have offered in Anubhav Learning Series, you are now eligible to practice all of them from your local computer, guys. It is just like in your company, you access your local from your local computer. When you are in company intranet, you can access all the servers. Similarly, you can now access this S4 HANA server from your local computer. One disclaimer again, uh, this server is only work when you are not in your corporate network. You need to be out of your corporate network, only then it will work. Do not connect, be connected to your corporate network. The server will only work when you're out of your corporate network, out of your VPN, then only server will work. Don't be connected to VPN. Sometimes people connect to their VPN and then they try and access this server. It won't work. It needs purely the internet connection to be able to work. Or yeah, that's a very important point to note for every one of you. Please do not be connected to internet. Please do not be connected to your corp to be able to access this. Once these steps are done, you're ready. You can now go ahead and start building the OData service. So let me log into the server. So just connect to our server, and I'll use my username and password to connect to the server. So let me just use my username and password. Okay, I used it. And now you can see from my local computer, I am already connected to the server. All the important transactions, you can say they are already added. SEGW is one of them, very important. And when you're trying to access slash IWFND main service, if you directly try and put this transaction here, IWFND slash main service, it won't work. Okay, so there are two options to make it work. You see, you get this. So one option is add it to your favorites or use slash n before that. Okay, a transaction which you try to access doesn't open, put slash n before that, or add it in your favorites transaction and then try and access that. Clear, everyone? Many times you guys complain me, Anubhav, it's not working. You don't even put effort to try out yourself things. That 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 thing has to be there in you, that human nature of being desireful for something, that human nature for being inquisitive, the human nature of being curious has to be there in you. Then only you can really learn new things, guys. Okay, so don't just be a follower, just you need to also have that thing of exploring things out. Okay, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट गाइस। जिद्दी बनना पड़ेगा, सीखना है तो जिद्दी बनना पड़ेगा कि मैं आउटपुट लाके रहूंगा, लाके रहूंगी, वो बनना पड़ेगा तभी आउटपुट आएगा। इट अदरवाइज यू विल नॉट गेट आउटपुट, यू विल ओनली लर्न एग्जांपल्स फ्रॉम माय ट्रेनिंग and then you will go away, and that would not be so much of benefit for you. You have to be, rigid, you have to be stubborn कि I will do it, what is big in there, Anubhav can do it, anybody else in my team can do it, why can't I do it? College students are doing it, guys. You are professional. I have seen many of my college students building beautiful Fury applications. You are still a professional. You can do better job than them. You have an idea about SAP. You can do better than them. Okay, so be focused, be rigid. You need to be always stubborn about, yes, I have to do it. I will do it, how much soever it takes. And you need to also be exploration, you need to do exploration, a lot of exploration. It's not that straightforward always you will get something. Okay, you need to work hard towards it. Okay, with that we'll go to SEGW transaction. SEGW is called SAP Gateway Service Builder. Typically this activity starts in a backend system. If you want to build a data service, you start this with the backend system. You don't do this activity in front end, because front end doesn't have data. Your entire functionality, including all your test data, all your application data, all results in your ECC, in your backend system. This is your Fiori backend system, which is your current ECC system. That's where you go and check that up. Okay, so in ECC you will go and check this. Now if I just come back, you can see there are some transactions which have been built here. We have also built our best in pizza application also in this server. You see it's also available here. OData service for Fury app, best in pizza application. In Anubhav learning series I've built a complete end-to-end POC that's also displayed over here. Now what I'll do is I'll just click on create a new project, and I would just name this project some name. So let's click on create, let it load. So we will create a new project for service, and we can give any name. Typically you start with Y or Z because it's a Z object. It's not a standard development object which you're creating. So your objects must start with Z or Y, and it should belong to a proper package. So the moment you add them in a package, you would get a pop-up for transporting the project to the quality and production. Okay, so many times we forget to add proper package, and then we have to do a lot of rework to be able to move it to a productive package. So let me first just put in here the project name. I say just Z demo OData, and current month is April. So that's my OData service name, and I'll say OData project. And now here I'll provide a package name. So I just do an F4 and see what packages I do have it. So I say ZBIP star. I have a package starting with maybe Z star I'll do. And you see these are all the different packages I do have it in the system. So probably I'll use any of the package which is start with Z. So that's something which you guys have to decide yourself. What this will be provided by your architect in the team. So I used ZOFT pack. So for my custom development, I created this online Fury training dot package. I choose that and say okay. And now you will see it's been created, and system also creates this inside of my package. The moment I click on save, you can see it gives me a prompt for pop-up saying to choose the transport request number which in which this project gets logged. And once I release this transport, of course this project then would reach to my quality system accordingly. So we click on okay, fine, no problem, just lock it in that transport. And now you can see it's empty, everything is empty right now. It's a fresh project. The very first question to all of you which I taught you since last 2 days: what is the blueprint of data type inside OData? What is a blueprint of data type? What contains the semantics of your data for a particular entity set? What is a blueprint of an entity set? Perfect answer. The very first answer, perfect answer. Entity type is what is the blueprint of your data. Entity type includes all the semantics. So we first create an entity type for product. So let's create a product entity type. So click on create button and I just choose product, and I say also create an entity set. If I want, I can also uncheck this just to create an entity type product. Click on OK. And now inside of product we will just go ahead and add properties. So we can add multiple properties here, but I don't know what is the typical name of each property I should give. So that depends again your data source. So in SAP system there are some standard function modules available for all of us. This particular system also have some demo data, some sample demo function modules available inside of this S4HANA system. So I'll just show you a database table where you have some sample product data available. Just like your Mara table has materials, here there is a table called SNWD underscore PD. This has some sample product data available. So it's mainly used for training and demonstration purpose. SNWD tables. These are all demo tables. So that's why you should use these ones for practice, because if there is something going wrong, then it all only hampers your demo data. Now execute it, and you can see there are 122 products available um, inside of this table. Now what happens is SAP also offers us standard business application programming interface BAPIs, which are nothing but function modules to be able to call this table and get the data for this table. Okay, and these all function modules which are standard related to the demo data, they are all starts with something called um, BAPI underscore EPM. So all these function modules inside the SAP system for demo data starts with BAPI underscore EPM underscore star. So EPM here stands for Enterprise Procurement Model. It is actually built for the purpose of education and demo by SAP. It includes lots of tables, relations between these tables, function modules, classes, business objects, business object processing framework BOS, services, etc. So the demo service, if you remember yesterday I was showing you GW basic underscore sample demo service, that is built on top of EPM only, guys. On top of EPM they have created that OData service. So this is mainly used for demo purpose, and EPM comes with a lot of ready to use database tables and data, and including with that function modules to fetch the data from. Now imagine your system in your company, you're working with some area or PP area or fin area. There you have also your tables, your function modules, your classes, your own subroutines, your own dialog programs. Everything is your own current ABAP assets. Similarly here, let's imagine, why I'm taking this is because it's common for everybody can quite easily understand about a company. So imagine a company who is an online shopping company like Amazon. They are selling products online. Amazon doesn't produce any product themselves. However, they have suppliers who supply them products, and then Amazon sell those products on their website. So similarly, this EPM model is based out of a sample company called ITEIO. This company is actually selling products online. However, this company needs a database design to be able to store all the information. Similarly, so in this company, we have tables like purchase order, sales order, products, business partners, texts. All these data is there inside of this particular EPM model. So to get all this data from the database tables, we need to always go ahead and say BAPI underscore EPM, your entity name, what is that you are looking for, underscore operation, what operation you are looking for. This is a naming convention which we follow to call these EPM function modules which are ready to use. So the very first thing which we will see here, BAPI underscore EPM underscore product underscore get list. This gives you the list of all the products, okay, available in system. So you don't hit the table directly. That's what essentially you also do in real-time projects. In ABAP, you don't call your tables directly. Until unless they are Z objects, you would reuse the objects, you reuse the function module, you reuse the classes, everything you reuse to be able to work with them, isn't it? Similarly, here we have product get list, which gets you all the data. The next comes is BAPI underscore EPM underscore product get detail. This gives you the single product detail. Okay. So basically, I'm trying to tell you the names of the function modules which we will be using to be able to work and write our ABAP code. Clear, everyone? Then comes is BAPI underscore EPM underscore product create. Of course, you all know that to create a product, BAPI underscore EPM underscore product delete, to delete a product, BAPI underscore EPM underscore product underscore update, to update a product. Now, who will tell me which function module are used to read all the business partners? Anybody? Anyone? Who will tell me which function module I use to read all the business partners? Anybody? By the naming convention, just now I showed you on the top for products. Which function module, what is the name of function module you will probably use to be able to read the data from business partner? Anyone? It's very simple. BAPI underscore EPM. Okay. BAPI underscore EPM we are using. And then we will say BP underscore get list. Get list is to get all the data, right? So get list is to get all the data. Now, what if I want to know the function module name to get a single business partner information? Anyone? What is the function module name you will use to read single business partner data? Anybody who will tell me as per the naming convention? Perfect answer, Swami. It's get detail. BAPI underscore EPM underscore BP underscore get detail. Very good. BAPI underscore EPM underscore BP underscore create, and similarly update, and similarly delete. All that we will be using. Okay. This is how we use different business BAPIs to be able to work with it. Now, quickly, just to tell you the relationship between these products and supplier. So BP is nothing but a supplier or a customer. So whenever you have a product, there is a supplier for that product, right? So it's a one-to-one relationship between business partner and product. There is a product in your company who is supplied by business partner, by a supplier. Similarly, there is a order which you get it from a customer, and there is a customer who purchased this order. So there is also a relationship between who purchased this order. So that's also BP. So BP includes not just your customers, it also includes suppliers also. Okay. So both are part of BP only. We store in single table both the customer and supplier. Sometimes it may happen that a customer is also a supplier for you, right? Maybe possible. If it's a wholesaler who is a customer, at the same time is a supplier also. So then you have order table with order items. So you have one-to-one relationship between order and order items, just like your sales order inside ERP system. So this is a typical database design which we have inside of our system: product, business partner, order details, order items. So that's what we have it. Similarly, you can have function module for order, you can have it for order items and stuff like that. So that complete DB design, how it is constructed, you can also watch out my first video on Anubhav learning series to understand the DB design, how the EPM DB design was designed. So once you understand my own DB design, which I taught in Anubhav learning series video, you will also understand this DB design of your current EPM model as well. But that's not important for us. Important is these function modules to be able to read, write data to the SAP system. Okay, so let's go ahead, and now we will create our first service project. Already we have created it. There are these tables, of course, which you can use to look at the data. They all starts with S and WD. But now coming to the product, so we need to now define the structure of the product. For that, what I'll do is I'll go to one of the function module related to product, SE37, and I'll open up one of the BAPI for the product data. So maybe let me open the BAPI, which gives me single product detail. And then with that, I will get the information about what exactly is the output. Okay. What exactly is the BAPI is giving me as an output? What is the structure in which the BAPI is giving me the output? That's what I will get to know with that by looking at the signature of the function module, right guys? And once I will know that, then I know also the properties which I probably need to create accordingly. Clear? So let's go ahead and do that. So maybe I just come here, and now I'm going to create these properties. So I just click on plus, and you can now add these properties. You also remember in yesterday's class I showed you metadata of OData service, where we were seeing that some of the services were not allowing filtering option on a property in our OData service provided by SAP. So that's something is marked here. You see, when you creating a OData entity type, at that time you can say which are all the properties I will have, and you can also mark whether with this property I can create new record, I can update new record, I can sort, I can make it null, or can I filter the records inside of my data. Is this possible, one of these things with my properties? That's what exactly you can mark it. And this is purely for the metadata purpose. When the metadata is displayed to the user, that time this information will be useful. Clear everyone? So it's for metadata, these properties. However, at the same time you can also give the type, the precision, the scale, the maximum value allowed, unit if there is something related to unit, labels, combo types, all that you can give it here inside of your OData. Now I will just quickly go back and show you the function module BAPI underscore EPM underscore product, get detail, and just go inside get detail, function module. I clicked on display, and then it will show me the function module. I'm not interested in the code of the function module, what SAP is doing in this function module, which is standard, but I'm interested in what is the output format, because later on I'm going to use this function module to write my code. So whatever data will come out of this function module, it has to be compatible with my OData. So I go to export parameters, and you can see this is the data type it uses. These are all the properties this function module will return me. So I will use some of these properties. So I do control Y here, control Y, and now I choose, let's say, some properties from here. Let me use these properties. I copy these properties. Maybe I just use up to the price. Okay, up to the price of the product, and I come back and paste these properties over here directly. Okay, it didn't work. It didn't copy properly up to the price. Yeah, now it copies. So I paste it, and you see everything is come up here up to the price. So these are all my property names which are now compatible with my structure of BAPI output. But do you see I put all properties? Anybody? Do you think I had put right now all the properties of my output structure in my OData definition? Anyone? Do you think did I put all properties? No, I did not, which means I am restricting certain properties which I don't want it to be used in Fury UI at all, because later on Fury will be using this, right? So that's something you can control based on your choice. That's why I say OData is an abstraction on top of SQL. Okay, you can abstract what you need, only that part you can put it in OData. This is what will get exposed out to the outer world using OData service. Now coming to mark a key, I will mark product ID as my key, and now you choose the data type for OData service for each of the property. Typically we mark everything as a string type. Okay, we mark everything as a string type, and let me just put everything as a string except my price and currency. Okay, so for my price column I just go and make it as a decimal, and I will say decimal precision is 2, scale is 2, 12 and 2. That's what I put. You can also use for weight unit, and this unit should be probably an integer or maybe a decimal once again. 10 and 2, sorry, it's a unit, so it should be in the string only, just like your currency code. It should be in string only, guys. And weight measure should be yeah, weight measure should be value. So I just put decimal here, and I said 10 and 2. So that's my entity type definition for product. Now I can say for my price, what is the unit? So I can do an F4, and I can choose currency code will be my unit for the price. For weight measure, the weight unit will be the measurement measure unit, weight measure weight unit. This is what is the unit, and at this measure unit I'm removing it right now, and I save this. And now you can say, if somebody would create a new product, can they use this property? So when you're creating a new product, can I use these properties to create a new product? Of course, yes. So I mark all of them as okay. Can I update all the properties? Yes, you can update. Except primary key, you can update everything. Yeah, except primary key, which is product id. Product id never changes, just like your employee id never changes in your company. It remains as it is. You can also not, you will not also change the product id. Sortable, can I sort the data? Yes, we can sort the data. Nullable, can you keep everything null? I would say not. These important properties, you can't keep them null. Rest all properties you can keep them null. Filterable, can I filter the data? So maybe I'll say you can filter based on only category. So this is mainly for metadata purpose. System would now choose this preference, and when somebody access metadata of your OData service, these options will be displayed as enable disable for your entity type. Then you can also choose the labels, what you want to give as label for these fields. That's something you can choose. And then you can also put structure hyphen field name for data type mapping. Okay, structure hyphen field name for data type mapping. And then finally you can also put some labels, extra semantics required for this OData entity type. Now I press enter. I don't fill anything further. I click on save. Congratulations, your first entity type is created. Now can you fire CRUD operation on an entity type? Can you fire CRUD operation on an entity type? Anybody? Can you fire CRUD operation on an entity type? Answer is no. This is what I told you in the first class. Your entity set is the point of contact for all the CRUD operations. So we have to create an entity set with this entity type. As I told also, entity type is a blueprint of entity set. So let's create entity type, entity set, and I'll say product set, and I can now do an F4 and choose my entity type. Perfect. You can see it's been created over here. I click on save, and I can also say whether with this entity type somebody can create, update, delete, pagination. You see, pageable, like dollar top skip, right? Addressable, searchable, substring, and can somebody requires filter. So all these things you can put it here for metadata purpose, guys. All your properties for entity set. Now once we are done, let's generate the service objects. So this is a one-time activity. Generation of runtime artifact is a one-time activity. When you create a new OData project, you have to click on generate runtime artifacts. What it does, it creates classes. So you see, guys, you have a nice graphical editor where you are updating these properties. This is a graphical editor. Okay, this is a graphical editor where you're writing everything, but behind the scenes, does system understand these graphics? Does system understand this graphics? Anybody? Does your ABAP programming understand a graph? Does your ABAP program understand a graph? ABAP program don't understand graph. ABAP program only understand ABAP code. Okay, so we need to now submit this, and there has to be some conversion which should take place, which converts things to an ABAP code. Okay, There has to be something takes place which gives actually an ABAP code get generated behind the scenes, and that's what I'm talking. It's called runtime artifacts. System will automatically create runtime artifacts where all your ABAP code is created automatically of what you have done here graphically, because ABAP don't understand the graphics. It only and only understand the code. So system has to now map what you have done graphically into an ABAP code, and that's what called a runtime artifact. System would create a runtime artifact. Just to again relate this example, you have DDIC, data dictionary. We all have worked with data dictionary concepts in our life. We created database tables in SE11. This is first thing which we start with when I start career in ABAP. So in ABAP we create a table. So you create a table. Do you create a table by writing the select query, create table? Anybody? Do you create table in SE11 by writing create table statement, alter table statement? Anybody? Do you write create table statement to create table in ABAP? Anyone? Have you ever written create table? No. You always use SE11 to design a table graphically. But do you think your database understand this graph? Do you think the database understand this graph? What is the database understand? What is the only interface database understand? Anyone? What is the only thing which database understand? Anyone? What is the only thing language which database understand? Anyone? What is the only language? It only understand SQL. Okay, it only understands SQL. So there has to be somebody who is converting your code to SQL, which is nothing but your database interface in ABAP, who converts your equivalent table into a SQL code which database can understand. Same thing is happening here. Your ABAP code has to be generated for what you have written graphically behind the scenes. And where will this ABAP code go and sit? It has to sit somewhere, right? So that's what exactly happens. A runtime artifact is a container of all your ABAP code equivalent for your entity types and entity sets. And system creates multiple runtime artifacts. System creates something called MPC class. MPC stands for model provider class. This is what is created by whom? Who creates this class? Anybody? Do we create it manually? Who creates this class? When you click on generate button, SAP creates it. Your system, SAP system creates it. Okay. SAP system creates this class. It puts all this code what you have written here. It puts its equivalent code is written in MPC class. Clear everyone? Now, if you want to tweak something based on your need, if you want to tweak something based on your need, if you change this class, what will happen in future? If you change this class, what will happen in future? If you want to change something and if you go and change this class, what will happen in future? If you regenerate next time, okay, let's say you today generated everything and then you go and manually change something in this code, and tomorrow some other developer come and that developer have added one more property here. Okay, one more property the developer has added, and now developer has to regenerate. The moment developer regenerates, your manual changes will get overwritten, isn't it? Your manual changes will get overwritten, isn't it, guys? So isn't it risky to write a code inside SAP system generated class? Do you think there is a risk of writing code in SAP system generated class? Do you see a risk or not? Anyone? Do you see a risk or not? Yes, you see a risk, because if I go and write some code in the system generated class, next time somebody regenerate, my changes will go away. What do we do? What do we do? We what system does is it creates an MPC class and it also creates an extension class automatically. Okay, it also creates an MPC extension class automatically. Okay, extension class is created. Extension class inherits from super class. MPC, which means you get all the features for free from the SAP generated class for free, and then you can put your manual changes which are safeguarded from any modification to super class. Anything changes, it changes in super class, the base class inherits it, so all the features also come to you, and your manual changes are safeguarded. Nobody can affect your manual change. So that's why you have concept of extension class. The class name will be always MPC ext class, where you will write your manual code to be able to work. Next time somebody regenerate, it touches the base class only, it doesn't touch your extension class. Is that clear to everyone? What is the concept of base class and extension class? Where what SAP does, SAP generates all the code related to your data model which you have defined. This is your data model, nothing but data model. You have done a little bit of data modeling, well, how my data looks like, that's called data model. So data model code gets generated in model provider class, MPC class, and then there is an extension class also created by system, in which you can go and put your manual changes which are side effect free. Clear everybody? The concept of MPC and MPC extension class, is that clear to everyone? Yes or no? Because this is what you are going to see in system now. Similarly, there is another class called DPC class. DPC stands for data provider class, guys. Okay, DPC stands for data provider class. This is mainly used for writing now your code for data. So here it's all about definition. It's a design time part. It's a definition. All the definitions are put in this. All the design time part is put in this. This is design time part. This is your design time, how things will look like. Okay, this is your definition. Now comes is the runtime, how your implementation should look like. Where will you get data from? How do you select data from? Which BAPI do you use? All your runtime code which will get executed at runtime to fetch you the data to perform the CRUD operation will be written in data provider class, DPC class. Now sometimes there is a technique called service generation in which SAP generates this code automatically for you. However, typically if you want to build a custom OData service, we always use DPC extension where we write our code. So where will you write your code to be do CRUD operation on your entities? Anybody? So tomorrow when I implement things, which class will I write my code? Which class I will write my code to be able to implement CRUD implementation? Perfect answer, you all understood. It's DPC extension. We don't still touch, however there's a DPC, but we don't touch it. We use it always in manual change in DPC extension, which means you as a developer, if every time you have to touch something in OData, never touch MPC and DPC, always touch extension classes if you have to change by any chance any code. Hope it's clear the concept of DPC and MPC class, guys. Why extension classes are used to safeguard yourself for next modification by another developer or yourself, which would regenerate and destroy your changes in base classes, which is only controlled by SAP system, not by you. However, SAP system also generate extension classes for you, which are inherited from main classes, where you can go and make your changes to be side effect free. With that, let's proceed and generate our runtime artifacts. So I come back and click on the generate button now. So system would now ask me, okay, it says inconsistent, there is some problem. So you see there is an error here, and it's an error with the price. So it says conversion error possible, EDM type is more restrictive. Okay, I think there is a problem here. This limit is not big, so I think it's, let's keep it 10 and 2. Could be that limit problem. Let's do a quick check before we activate. I do a quick check again, some problem. I think the data type which I chose is not suiting the purpose. Let me use double, and here also let me use double. Okay, I just press enter, save this, do a check once again. Now I see if scale is not acceptable, precision is not acceptable for double. Okay, no problem, we'll just keep it 0. Save this, let's do a check once again, and you see Now it's bug free. We can then generate. I click on generate and voila, you see it now is telling me the class name which it will generate for me automatically. In MPC class, typically the naming convention is ZCL underscore your project name. You see our project name is Z demo OData April and then underscore MPC. That's the name it generates always. So it always have ZCL underscore your OData project name underscore MPC or MPC extension. Similarly, DPC and DPC extension. Clear everybody? At the same time, also watch out this part. Here it is telling you the service name which it will create. So this is very important later point of time for consumption. So this is what you will give to your UI developer. Now currently we are doing bowling, guys. We are learning bowling. We already learned batting in first phase of our course. Now we are learning bowling. In the bowling, this is what you need to give it. Give a googly to your batsman. So your batsman is sitting around the corner. Maybe you are working as an OData developer in your company. So the batsman is asking you, what is the ball? This is the ball. You need to give it to your batsman to play with it. So this is your UI. To your UI developer, you always give this service name. This is the service name. You will give it to your UI developer. Clear everybody? Is that clear to everyone? Fine. Let us go ahead. So now I copy the class names into my PPT so that we can remember them later point of time when we are talking to them. This is, you need to organize yourself. Many times students creates lot of OData projects and they forget the class name, they forget the service name, and then it is lot of disorganization, lot of discomfort for you going back and forth searching for your object. Guys, be smart, open a notepad, at least put some effort in putting your object names inside that notepad and save it so you can remember for future that okay, this was my object, this was my MPC, this was my DPC, for this purpose I created them, and this was the service name. Will be very handy and helpful. This is what I often do in real time project. Whenever I create something, I keep a track of it in an Excel sheet. However, for you, since you're doing for demo purpose, you can start with a notepad. Use this practice. It is worth using this practice where I don't forget anything. So tomorrow when I come back, I don't have to remember that what I have created, and nobody can remember. It's a human nature that we cannot remember such big things. Yeah. So it's also, it's good if you just, keep the name uh, intact, keep the name stored somewhere in some file. Now if I just come here, this is my OData project name. Watch out carefully. This is your OData project name underscore apper, sorry, apper, and then this is your service name. You see, just the OData project name underscore SRV is what is kept as a service name, guys. The project name underscore SRV. So even you forget it, if you remember your OData project name, you can then go and find the service, and vice versa. If somebody gives you service, just remove SRV from the end, and that's my OData project, right? If somebody just tell you service name, you can easily find out its corresponding OData project. Wow, that's something you can do it. Okay, now click on OK, and once again my package which I have it in system, it's set online Fury trainings underscore demo, I guess, sorry, underscore pack, and I'm going to lock my objects in the same transport. This is again a very important activity. I've seen developers even with 5 experience, they do mess in system. They do mess in system, and they are sued by their manager, they are sued by their colleagues, they get attacks from all the corners because they don't pay attention to these basic things. You created your OData project in one transport, now you're creating its related artifacts in another transport, and you're trying to release second transport first. Of course, once it reaches, it doesn't find the corresponding OData project, and it will blast in quality, and then you again hours and hours and sleepless night in your company sitting on your desk alone, where your colleagues are enjoying their life at home and you are sitting to fix those transport issues. Why? First time you're doing things wrong. Don't do things wrong. Be careful. Your 5 minute will save your life, will save you from your manager's angriness, will save you from your colleagues attacks, and it will also save you to get the desired output quickly in the quality, and that's called quality work. If you do things not organized way, then somewhere you will get problem. Sorry, if you think Anubhav can come and fix your transport issues, sorry, Anubhav cannot do that. You have done it wrong. You have to be responsible for it yourself. So be careful, lock it in same package, use the same transport, logically group everything in the same transport so that you don't feel issues when it reaches to quality. Many times I've seen people create database table, they create data element, database table डाल दी transport number 5, data element डाल दिया transport number 1. Now you release transport number 5 first, it reaches to quality, it blast there, and then you are scratching your hair, screwing your hair and seeing क्या हो गया ये fail क्यों हो गई. And then you're sitting with basis guy, you're seeking help from so many people. Why are you doing it, man? Come on, do it properly, lock everything logically in a single packet and send. Okay, lock everything in a single packet and send. Imagine you buy a toy from Amazon. Amazon sends you that first part of the toy in one packet, then batteries in another packet, remote control in another packet. How would you feel? Right, same thing happens here. You need to package it properly in a single transport. Be very careful. Very often things, trivial things, but we do it very often. In fact, experienced people with maturity also does it wrong many times, and it hampers and hits you back. Click on OK. Transport gets created, sorry, objects gets created and they gets locked inside of transport. From now you can go and check your objects, and first thing, can anybody tell me which class I would have now got the equivalent ABAP code for this generated? Which class I have got my equivalent ABAP code generated for this? Which class my equivalent ABAP code is generated for this? MPC class. Perfect answer, all of you are right. Let's go to MPC class so I can directly go. I don't need to now remember the class name because I know OData project name and I know how to build the name. It will be ZCL underscore Z OData underscore demo underscore April APR underscore MPC class. You see it's also showing me here. That's the beauty. It's a latest S4HANA server with 7.52. So there's a lot of interesting stuff. Now you can go to define method and you will find the system is defining the schema, the namespace, and you would also see define product entity type. You see, this is the equivalent of app code. Don't you think that you put a property called product ID, type code, category, name, description, right? These are all the properties you had defined into your OData project, right? System has generated this code for you for free. Imagine the power of SAP. See, if you would have to write all this code yourself, lag jati. 1 year, only one service you would have been able to complete. This is all being done, generated by SAP system for you for free. Power of SAP. Okay. Okay, great. So you can see here, this is what exactly it is. It has generated everything for you. That's why MPC class, many trainers I see online not able to explain the purpose of MPC class. इतना ही बताएंगे कि MPC class है एक. They don't tell you, they don't go and show you what is happening behind the scenes. This is what happens behind the scenes. It generates the equivalent code for your graphical editor inside MPC class. Hope you guys understand what is happening here, why MPC class is generated. It creates the equivalent ABAP code for your purpose, what you created in a graphical editor. Okay, but you never touch this class. However, you are allowed to touch, you can change everything, no problem, system won't stop you. But the good practice is use MPC extension. If you want any change to be done, use MPC extension class. Don't use MPC class because a next regeneration would overwrite the MPC class. However, it won't touch your extension classes ever. That's a contract which SAP has made with you, saying that I won't touch your class, you don't touch my class. If you touch my class, I am not safeguarding your changes. So you can see here everything here inherited from MPC class. So you can override any functionality whichever you like. Okay, so that's something you do it in subclass extension class. Similarly, you have DPC class and DPC extension. Okay, so you can go to DPC class and you can see DPC. This is for data provider, and for your entity set, which is product, you would see five method gets created for CRUD operation. You see product set create, delete, get, get entity set, update. Five methods for CRUD operation. Get entity and get entity set are for getting multiple records and getting single record. Then you have create, update, delete. Now you will wonder what code is there inside. Do you think SAP automatically generated all the code for you to be able to read, write, update, delete data? Does do you think it SAP has done that automatically already for you? It knows the table name where it has to read, write data. It knows the BAPI name? Of course not. That's why when you go in one of these methods, you would find an error. An exception is raised. Everywhere they are raising an exception. So whenever you just now try and call any method of these products, you would see an exception will be thrown because they've generated automatically the exceptions inside these codes. Okay, inside each of these methods. So it's time to activate our service and test it for the first time. So the service is been created here, but we are going to test it now. Okay, we are going to test the service. So let's go ahead and test the OData service. So for that, what is the activity we need to test the service? We need to generate the service, guys. Okay, so we created the service, but we need to generate now. Okay, we created the service project, yet we didn't create the service itself. So only service project has been created. So let's go ahead and generate the service. So I come to now mint service transaction. So /n/iwfnd/mint service. Now this activity, which system will you do? Maintenance of the service should be done in which server? Front end or back end? Anybody? Yesterday's class I told you, no, not backend. It should be now done in the front end server, because that's what Fiori will talk to. Fiori will always talk to your UI. Your Fiori UI will always talk to front end, guys. So service has to be registered in front end server. Your functionality is written in backend. Your data project created in backend by using classes, reports, modules, and stuff. But the service registration should be done in front end system. And then when you're registering, you got to give your RFC name. That's important. So right now here we are using embedded scenario. We have both front end and back end in a single machine. So we can register here in the same server. So I come here and I click on add service. And now here I choose F4. So if you see there is a backend server, you would also find the detail about that backend server here. Here you will see that RFC for the backend. Okay, that system alias for backend you would see here. If you have multiple front end and back end, okay, you would see that here to register it from a backend. But since it's same, I choose local and I put my service project name. It's Z demo OData April underscore SRV is the number. Press enter and you see your service is available here. We need to just select and say add selected service. It's a one-time activity. Next time if you change something in the service, you really don't need to worry. It will get adopted automatically. So registration of a service is a one-time activity. Remember, always register it with a package. So once you transport it to quality, in the quality also your service is available. Again, it depends on company to company. This activity sometime also done in local system, and when it reaches to quality, in quality again they register the service. Okay, in production again they register the service. So that again depends on project to project. What I typically do in my project, I register the service in development. I lock the service registration itself inside a package. So when I transport, my project gets created, my classes gets created, and also my service gets created automatically in quality and production subsequently. So I'm using package here also and locking it in a transport request. Everything in a single transport, packaging it, very important. And now I see it's just generating things, and yes, it's been created successfully. Congratulations. You can come back. You can now filter and now just put my service name in external service name ZDemo OData April. You can put a star also to search, and you see it has found one. Yes, and now you can just say, you can just make sure that it's active. You see this green icon which says active. Sometimes it turns gray, so you have to activate your node manually. Okay, sometimes it turns gray based on your system settings, so you have to manually activate it. Now the only way to communicate SAP system through HTTP is SIM. SAP has a framework called Internet Communication Manager ICM framework, which is responsible for all the HTTP calls and network calls. Okay, that's what it is responsible for. So system will always and always talk to Internet Communication Manager, and ICM has ICF nodes, Internet Communication Framework nodes. So any communication happening to your Fury app over HTTP or your OData through HTTP, it all happens through ICF nodes. So an ICF node would have got created for this service automatically. You can also go and check that in SICF transaction. Go and check your ICF node here with the service name, and name is Z OData demo. So just check that here, service name Z demo OData April SRV. Just check this. You would find your node. Yes, congratulations. An ICF node has been created for internet communication to SAP system. Clear? What happening behind the scenes when you register the service? An ICF node gets created and gets activated. You can test your service from here, or you can also go back and test your service from here. So say call browser and say allow, and voila, now you see it launched my OData service. Congratulations guys, you can see our OData service is launched. How many entity sets we have it in our OData service at the moment? How many entity sets we have at the moment? Only one. What's the name of my entity set? Who tells me? If you focus on today's class, you will easily tell me the entity set which we created in today's class for our product data. Product set, perfect answer. You will all find I use this product set. Will I get my output if I call product set now? Will I get my output if I call product set? Did I implemented the code for reading the data from SAP system and return back? No, nowhere, right? There's nothing called magic. There's nothing called free lunch. It's all dreams. So there's nothing called easy. There's nothing called easy in life. If you want to achieve anything, you have to work hard. You need to write the code to read the data and pump this data to the browser so that data gets displayed. Currently nothing called free. You press enter, you get an error, and that's because I showed you in DPC extension or DPC class there was an exception code written to throw an exception out. Just press enter, and voila, you see an exception which says this method is not implemented in data provider class. Are you all clear with this message? What you got? This method is not implemented in data provider class. The entity set method, guys, the entity set method to get multiple records, it's not implemented in data provider class. What is that I do to get single record with primary key? Yesterday I taught you what to do to try to get single record for based on primary key. No, you have to in OData. I am asking, you had put yesterday parenthesis and you put product ID. Let me just put a Anubhav, and then it will call your get entity method. You see now it's giving a different error saying get entity method is not there. So when you read single record, it calls get entity method. When you're reading all records, it's calling get entity set method. So now you also know which method you have to write the code if you want to return multiple value or single value. Clear everybody? Which method you have to write the code to implement single value get or multiple value get? That's what you need to do. We will do that in next class, in our DPC extension class, of course. So till this time, please create your OData service yourself, register it, and get me this entity set. That's an exercise. So all of you, what you need to do, you need to go back and create an OData service. And of course, many times I may not be able to see your output because I trust you. You can go it and do it in your internal company system. So what is an exercise for all of you? Just go and create an OData project with name Z demo underscore OData underscore sample in your company. Just go and create that and then put two entity sets, okay, inside the OData called product set and business partner set. And you all know how to create blueprint. You also know the function module to find out the properties which it should have, similar to the way we did it today. And then register the service and just check if the entity sets are available. With gateway, and check if service document is displayed with entity sets. Clear, everybody? This is an exercise for all of you. There was one more interesting question which I received yesterday from Udit. So Udit was trying the practicing OData get. So we were using services.odata.org products. And what Udit observed, that when he was calling products, he was getting output like this raw data he was getting. For JSON also he was getting like this raw data. It doesn't look pretty. Okay, he tried in multiple browsers. It didn't work out. It looks very bad, this format. For that, what you need to do is go to Chrome browser and say XML viewer plugin. Okay, XML viewer plugin for Chrome. Search for that. You will see it here, XML viewer plugin. And now just add this plugin to your computer, to your Chrome browser. It's free. Okay, and also important to use another plugin for JSON output, which is JSON viewer plugin. So this is for XML output. Similarly, you have JSON viewer plugin in Chrome browser. It's free. You all can use this. It will format your output beautifully. So you see there are multiple one, and maybe I just add this JSON viewer plugin, add extensions. They're all free. So yes, both got added. And now you come back and just do a refresh. Your XML output will be formatted. There's some problem with this service, however, but maybe just show you the JSON output. So $format JSON, and you see how beautiful it looks. It has formatted my output beautifully. That's what the plugins are doing. So please set up JSON viewer and XML viewer plugin in your Chrome browser. They will help you a lot to format and make a look and feel better your output. So clear, everybody? This is, I thought of sharing this with all of you because Udit faced this doubt, and I think you all will face when you practice OData service. So it's my duty to bring this point also into the class. So please add JSON viewer and XML viewer plugin in Chrome browser, and then try it in the Chrome browser, accessing once again the things, and then you will see hopefully the output in a beautiful format. Clear, everyone? So that's what exactly we got to do it. In the next class, we will implement the method implementations now to be able to work. Now time for your questions. I hope a lot of you have questions. I did not look at questions on the top. Please repost them if they are not answered. What is the best place to clear page variables when navigate back to the previous view? You don't need to create page variables. Use global model object, global JSON object you created. Okay, and yes, if there is a need to clear, you have to do it on the back button. Okay, you have to do it on the back button when navigating back from a page to another page. Okay, that is the place where you have to do it. Use global JSON model, and in that you keep your data and clear based on your need. So typically hub approach, there will be a transport request even in front end server which needs to be prompted to qual system. So there will be two transports separately, one for backend, one for front end. So when you create your project and your DPC MPC classes, it will be done in backend. So there will be one transport. You will lock everything in backend system. You will release your backend transport first. After that, you go to your front end. In the front end, then you register the service. You create it and put it in a transport, and you release your front end transport. And then everything will be in sync in your quality accordingly. Yes, please. Any other doubt? I see somebody unmuted their line and they're typing. Shiva, I guess it's you. if you want to clear
Yes.
on launchpad back button. Launchpad back button is nothing but you can't control launchpad back button functionality. Typically it's all managed by your back button of your application, so you have to do it on back. So there's an on nav back of your page level. In that you clear your variables. Can we debug
Yes,
from?
and yes, Anubhav. Can I able to share my screen? Can give the access to share my screen, Anubhav?
Yeah, I'll do that one second. There's one more question from Swami. Can we debug front end to back end? That will I will show you tomorrow, Swami, how to debug. But unfortunately, I don't have server infrastructure to show front end back end debugging. That's covered in my advanced course. How to debug a Fiori app to an OData service from front end to back end. That's covered in my advanced course. So please subscribe to my advanced UFF and Fiori course to be able to and again connect all these front end back end debugging, all these things properly. Clear everyone? So please subscribe to advanced course. It's all taught in detail in advanced course for web IDE. Yes, Shiva, now I'll give you the rights to share your screen. Anyone else, any other questions? Please feel free to put it in the chat box. One more question, my credentials did not work. Can you please send S4HANA login credentials again? I have sent you the updated password in the morning, Swami. Please check your email. I have already sent you the email in the morning today with the updated password for your user. Did you receive the email? Please check. Yeah, Shiva.
Yes, Anubhav. Can you able to see my screen, Anubhav?
Yes, yes.
Yes, Anubhav. Actually, I created a app and then I deployed it in the Fury Launchpad sandbox.
Okay.
So when I click on this tile, it's navigating to a page object layout. So I'm
Okay.
navigating to my screen.
Okay.
Uh, some error. Okay.
In demos, nothing works usually.
Okay. Okay, Anubhav. So now I'm pulling the data from ECC.
Uh-huh. Very nice. Superb. Beautiful.
So I'm doing so now if the user wants to move to the next screen and if they want to use the price of the particular distributor, what is the price? So they will click here and then they will navigate to this place and then they will give the distributor code to check the price.
Okay.
So this is getting displayed and above. Even the back button is now working because as you said, I coded everything on the root pattern
Right.
match method. So it is
History.go.0. Mhm.
yes. So now if you click on this, the previous page's variables also getting cleared because as you said in this method I wrote this Anubhav. So here I'm getting the root pattern match and then I'm trying to invoke this method. In
Okay.
this method I'm setting the path, that means that arguments path, and then here I'm using the reset method. Inside the reset method I'm clearing all the variables, but unfortunately if you look at into this, it's slow.
So you want, I understood. Let me just brief. You don't want to clear them when you navigate back from the last view where you were navigated to. However, you want to clear when you navigate from first view to second view. You want to clear, but you don't want to clear from third view to second view, right?
Oh, because you see this Anubhav, I don't know whether this is the correct thing. So now it's going to the factory campaign view on
And now
init method, and then
you want to clear actually in this case because first time when you
oh
launch
okay,
you want to clear, right?
yes, but if I code everything, yeah, you see this Anubhav, I'm calling this method on reset. That means
Okay,
on reset, I'm
understood.
clearing all the variables. So if I go to the second view,
Mhm.
if I click on the back button, it's not triggering this current page on root match method, and it's triggering the factory campaign view match method, and then it's coming back to this view. I don't know whether this is a correct or I'm doing something wrong.
I
So
still
if you click
cannot.
on back, it's not. If you see this, it's not going to the dealer price view page route
Won't
method.
go, na?
It,
Because you are navigating back from dealer price. You are not at all
okay,
remaining on dealer price. So which
okay.
route match handler system will trigger? Typically, it is the route match handler of the view on which you are lending.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I got you.
You're lending
I
on dealer price. So if you say sorry, so if you were on second view, which was not dealer price view, I don't know, I think it was factory campaign view. So from
yes.
factory to dealer, when you come, that time dealer ka on route match handler will trigger. So on route match
Oh, okay.
handler get triggered when you landing to a particular view, uska on route match handler will get triggered.
Okay, okay, Anubhav. I got you, Anubhav. I got you. So you are. Is there any method will be get triggered before the hash changes, Anubhav?
Hash changes as in,
That means the root hash method. That this hash method, Anubhav. What we
this
used
is the only
to do
method
it in
which
the
gets
past.
triggered which when the hash changes actually.
Okay, okay, Anubhav.
So
These are the
what
doubts I'm
you
having, Anubhav.
probably do is, what you can also do is, I understood your point. What you want to clear, actually, don't want to clear the second view when you navigate back from dealer price. You don't want to clear,
Oh, okay,
right? So what you do is in the back button of dealer price controller,
okay,
okay,
okay.
uh, you set a global model flag. Create a global
Yes,
model, okay, with name called Shiva. Create a model called
yes.
Shiva, okay, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And put inside that a variable called Anubhav. Now, when
Oh,
you
okay.
are clicking back button from dealer price,
Mm-hmm.
in that you set the value of Anubhav to true. Okay.
I got
And
you.
here, when
I
it
got.
land to the factory campaign again, check if it is
Uh-huh.
true. If it is true, which means it was a navigation back from dealer price. Hence, don't call the reset.
Oh, okay, Anubhav. I got you. What you are trying to
Else
say. Okay,
call
I
the
got
reset.
you.
Okay.
Oh, and Anubhav, one more thing, Anubhav. If I go to that my master view, I just created a object page layout with a subsection and then sub object page sections.
Hmm.
But when I'm trying to change the background color, I didn't see any method in the page object section set background design. I didn't get anything,
If
Anubhav.
you
So
want
it's
to
always
change the colors, you can
yes, the
use
background.
this option number one. We can go
Mhm.
ahead and use theme designer in SAP UI5.
Oh,
And with that,
okay,
your complete application look and feel will change to the color you want. It will all be
I got.
theme theming. That's option number one. Option number two, you
Mhm.
can apply your custom CSS.
I got you, Anubhav.
Okay, custom CSS may you can change then anything, whatever you like. So just to
Okay.
quickly show you, if you just
Mhm.
give me control, if I do have control,
Uh,
no, just right click on the DOM and do inspect quickly. Right click wherever you like in the DOM and inspect it.
Here it is, Anubhav. I'm just selected this one.
I don't see you changing something. Your screen is froze.
Okay. Now can
Ha, now I can see. So which color you want to change? Tell me.
this background color, Anubhav.
Ha, gray color, na? Right click on this area. Tell me the class name of this area. Right click. Go to inspect.
Uh,
Acha,
yes.
UX block container. Take this class name,
Okay.
SAP UX block container.
Okay.
Only one class name. Yes, copy this. Copy.
Mm-hmm.
Come down in the console. In the console, put
Okay.
dollar dot. Anybody, what is the method in jQuery to change the CSS at runtime? सब भूल जाते हैं, सब कुछ क्लियर है, किसी को याद नहीं है। नोटबुक में तो लिखा नहीं है किसी ने, कैसे याद रहेगा? एक आदमी ने
Dollar dot
प्रॉपर
add
पढ़ाई नहीं
string.
करी है। डॉलर, remove this dot, put the selector, parenthesis, na, remove this, put the parenthesis, dollar parenthesis,
Oh, sorry, sorry, sorry.
dollar parenthesis, double quote, dot, paste the class name, that's your selector,
Okay.
and this, and end with double quote,
Okay.
and this dot css.
Correct, Anubhav?
CSS. Again parenthesis,
Mm-hmm.
double quote, background
Mm-hmm.
hyphen color. Background, one word. Background. No, G, not G capital.
Okay.
Background hyphen color, double quote end, comma, double quote start, red, comma,
Uh-huh.
double quote
Double quote.
start, red, double quote end parenthesis, press enter.
Shall I need to put the colon, right?
Enter. That's it. See, guys,
Okay, and
custom CSS UI5 doesn't become a bottleneck for developers.
I
UI5
got you,
never
Anubhav.
becomes. Put this code in your. You can also put this code in on after rendering. It will work. The best way to do that
Okay, and
is put a CSS file and attach
okay.
that CSS file with manifest.json.
I got you, Anubhav. Thanks, Anubhav. Thank you for this. Anubhav,
UI5
one more
doesn't
thing.
bottleneck for developers. That's why we love
Oh,
UI5. That's why industry love UI5. That's why WebDin Pro developers will lose their job in coming future. Believe me or not, they will not have any work to do. BSP WebDin Pro developers बदल जाओ नहीं बदलोगे मार्केट बदल देगा जॉब जाएगी तुम लोगों की तैयार हो जाओ उसके लिए Goodbye. Thank you so much. See you on Monday. Have a nice day and goodbye.